Good morning. Happy Saturday morning. It's so good to be on today. Thank you all for coming on and tuning in. I'm sorry that I had to change the time, but I had to do something else and I forgot about it, but it's okay. I'm not going to be on long. As you can see, I'm smiling because I just love talking about the Bible, talking about the Word. There's so much to dissect and it never gets old. This portion of Teach the Text, I want to look at biblical geography. I want to look at, its importance when we study the scriptures and just understanding a lot of what's going on in the world through geography. Today is just really going to be an introduction. I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm just going to just go over a few things. I won't be on long, but the next time we'll go into depth and we'll look at other specific cities, different events connected to those cities. But today, I just want to give you something to get your mind going when it comes to geography. I have a PowerPoint for you guys. I'm a visual learner, so all of you out there who are visual learners, you'll be blessed by this as well. Oh my goodness, I want to put this on Instagram as well. I don't know if I'll be able to do that with the PowerPoint, but it's okay. So looking at biblical geography, it's so important, as I said, because it shows us the history of the Bible, the history of the land, history of events. It just tells us so much as it pertains to the Bible. Let me just go live on Instagram real quick if I can. Okay. Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Okay. Just give me a minute. Biblical geography. Okay. All right, so let's get started with that. Okay, so as I was saying, it's just so important because it gives us better understanding of what is going on in the world. Hello, Instagram. It's me, Jesse. I'm doing a quick teach the text going over biblical geography. We're just going to look at some things. So let's hop right into this PowerPoint. For those on Instagram, you will not be able to see the PowerPoint, but that will be okay. So let's go. This is slide one. So biblical geography, we will talk about like the land of Israel, basic regions and regional variety, the importance of cities and landmarks. Even though Israel is very small, there's a lot of information when it comes to this particular place. So we're going to talk about the variety that Israel has. It's very interesting. There's desert lands, there's hills, there's forests. There's so many dynamics to this small place. So it's very, very interesting. And so biblical geography, it's the study of Bible land. So it's the study of land in the Bible. So cities, places, rivers, and all of that. God is in history. So some people might say, well, Jesse, why is it so important to study biblical geography? It's important because God is in history and history is connected to geography. So when we study geography, we're in a sense studying another aspect of God. Yeah. So God is in history. So when we study geography, we're studying God. Events in the Bible happen in real time, happen near real mountains, rivers, and cities. All of these things are real. A lot of times when we talk about the Bible, a lot of people tend to think of the Bible as like a fairy tale or something that's just not real. But this is real. The Bible is real. There are real places, real mountains, real rivers. Okay. The land of Israel. So again, the places in the Bible are real. Historical events happened. All right. The land of the Bible is not a fairy tale. This is like real life. It happened in real time. Okay, so Israel. Israel is relatively small, and I don't think people realize just how small Israel is, but it is a small place. It's not big at all. Um, the landmass is Israel's landmass is about the same size as New Jersey. If you go and just look at comparing Israel to other countries, other states, it could fit inside of California multiple times. It's so much smaller than the United States. It can actually fit inside of Lake Michigan. That's how small Israel is. And so a lot of people don't focus on the size of Israel, but it is a testament of God and God's power, His sovereignty, His provision, because this land, for it to be so small, is standing the test of time. All right. So I always think that is just so powerful. Um, the little land has it has had a huge pack on history. Ezekiel 5:5. I want to read that real quick. Thus says the Lord, this is Jerusalem. I have set her in the midst of the nations and the countries all around her. This is exactly what the Lord has done. And this is exactly Israel. When I go to the next slide, you'll be able to see the other map. So he says, I have set her in the midst of nations. And that is exactly what has happened. God has made himself known through Israel. This is so true. God set out, we know, to make a nation out of a nation. So he set out to make a nation, and he has, in a sense, revealed himself to the entire world through just this one nation. The Lord has revealed himself through this one nation. So that has been so powerful. And that is another reason why we ought to keep our eyes on this land, because God has spoken through the land of Israel. He has revealed himself through this land. So that is so important as we continue on to just read and dissect the Bible. All right. Center of the nations, as Ezekiel 5:5 says, the Lord has set Israel in the midst of nations. Israel is a land bridge between three continents, okay? A land bridge meaning that you can go through Israel, and Israel connects three continents. That is so powerful, that this small nation connects continents, not cities, not countries, but it connects continents, whole land masses. So it connects Africa, Europe, and Asia. When you look on the map, you'll see Africa down towards the bottom, and then you will see Israel right here. So Israel is here, Africa is here, Asia is here. So, that's why we have the Middle East. We'll get into that in our next session. And then up here we have Europe. Okay. This is Israel's position. This is a position of purpose. God did not position Israel this way for no reason, but he positioned Israel here for a purpose. There is a purpose for Israel's position, and it all links even to Revelations and Armageddon and all of that. If the Lord leads, I can reveal some things to you that He has shown me regarding the nation and even the end time. Israel sits between two ancient civilizations. Okay, there are two ancient civilizations. You have Mesopotamia, which is here, and then you're going to have the Egyptian civilization here. So the ancient Egypt and ancient Mesopotamia. Israel sits right in the middle of those two ancient civilizations. And this is like a sidebar, because a lot of people say, oh, well, all of these ancient civilizations has, stories that are similar to Jesus Christ. And how is that? One of my very good friends who has gone to be with the Lord, she was a Jewish woman, and we became very close friends. And she would just share with me Jewish history of Israel. And I remember being in college, I think it was maybe my sophomore year, and I asked her, I'm like, why are there other stories about other nations that are similar to the Bible? How is that possible? And one of the things that she began to share with me was about common literature. So ancient Israel has always penned their history, and so their history becomes literature. So it's not a coincidence that these two ancient civilizations that sits in between Israel will have similar stories. That just lets us know that there was a common literature text or a common way of writing that got popular and it spread out. So once you told me that, that immediately I no longer, wrestle with, oh my goodness, how do I address people who tell me there are multiple stories of Jesus Christ and all these other religions and all these other ancient civilizations. So I was able to have that as a tool, and not just to debate, but it gave me peace and it gave me understanding about that. So that's very important, and we are going to look at that later, maybe in the next session, the commonalities between ancient Egyptian civilization, ancient Mesopotamia, and Israel. If last semester I was reading a book and it talked about the similarities in the civilizations, and that doesn't just happen. It's not a coincidence. There's a common ground. There's common literature. There's common stories that are being told. So that's going to be very powerful, and I pray that it will bless you the same way that it has blessed me. All right, the route between so Israel sits in between these two ancient civilizations, and the route between these two places is funneled through Israel. So that means many people they have to go through Israel, or Israel has to be a stop. Israel has to be an aid, because these two civilizations, when you look to their east and you look to the west, it is very difficult to travel. You have the Arabian Desert to the east of these civilizations, and then you have the Mediterranean Sea to the west. So they had no choice but to utilize Israel. All right. So Israel is a land bridge. It has been coveted by big empires in Egypt and in Asia. So because it is a land bridge, it is almost like what we would call prime real estate. So Israel is like prime real estate, even though it is so small compared to these other nations. Many nations for years and for centuries have coveted this small country because it is a prime spot. And we will see that later on as we go through the rest of the slides and even through the rest of this study. All right, Israel, well chosen land for God to demonstrate himself. It is a prime spot. It's a prime spot, and we'll get into that later as we talk about the different varieties of weather, and how, even though it's so small, there's so much variety and so many things can flourish in Egypt because of this. I mean, in Israel, because of this variety. History of Israel and Jewish people is evidence that God of the Bible is the true living God. This small country is evidence that there is a God. And one of the things that we have to understand is that archaeologists have made, through examination of the ancient Near East and Roman Empire and all these lands, there has been evidence and discoveries of what God has done. There has been discoveries concerning the different events. And so this is going to be a very, very powerful journey. Like I said, today I didn't want to stay on too long, but I just wanted to give you enough to get you interested. I am just so excited to start this segment of Teach the Text Biblical Geography. So today we kind of just covered Israel and just some important things about Israel. Next session, we will cover Mesopotamia. We will cover ancient Egypt and ancient Israel all together. We will look at the similarities and the differences between those three civilizations. We will also look at Canaan. We will also look at Mesopotamia in depth. And so I'm just so excited. So I thank you for joining me. I know this is short, but I wanted it to be short and sweet today, for joining me for this time. And please, I will keep you all posted to join me for our next sessions. Again, thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed this little snippet of biblical geography. Have a wonderful Saturday. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Instagram, for joining me as well.